Welcome back to another episode of The Forge, where two enter. One leaves champion, and one leaves beaten, battered, bruised. I am your host, Tiny Grimes, and again, Jake Almighty is nowhere to be seen. Have the rampaging war chargers finally tracked him down in his hiding place in the frozen wilderness of Canada? Perhaps, but we hope not. In his stead will be the once and future king of Soulforge, Randall's. Fine player in his own right, and he will be providing all the corrections to my poor banter and provide his own wonderful commentary. As far as competitors, we have the 28-time reigning Forge champion, EvilWeevil 666, the single most evil person in all of Soulforge history. Can he win himself today an alternate art legendary card? I doubt it, because his challenger is Vengevine. You may know him from his recent win at the Forge Watch Invitational Qualifier with a Deathweaver Lotus deck. So will he bring his champion deck and stomp poor EvilWeevil into the ground? Let us see. Alright, so EvilWeevil, he decided to change it up this week and play the exact same deck once again. So Randalls, I gotta ask you this. Are you impressed with the pure chutzpah that this young man displays by bringing the same deck every week and saying, dare you, I dare you to tech for me and beat me?
I think it's beautiful. I think that's what the champion should be doing. And I don't think anybody has the guts to bring Yetis on the Forge because they would just be thrown off. Nobody wants to see that. So he's pretty safe with his defenders. And other than that, other than fighting those defenders, there's not a whole lot somebody can do to tech for this deck.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, so it's pretty much the sort of gold standard of just consistent good deck. There's a lot of options at your disposal. It's just a strong deck, and most likely he's going to be prioritizing gargoyles, using sentinels to blow people out with gargoyles, and laughing all the way to the bank. Last week we talked about the fact that he has a bunch of one-ofs, and again, this seems to be just meta calls, right? So you want to have one Justicar in case your opponent goes crazy with Deathweaver Lotus. You want to have one Botanimate, in case they try something crazy like Vault Blockade plus 1,000,000 pumps. You have just a card here and a card there to handle various problems that might arise. What do you think about this list, Randalls? Do you consider this to be the gold standard of AU right now, or do you look at this list and you say, I see some tweaks here?
I mean, that's pretty solid. I don't know if I like Vault Blockade in a meta where you're going to run into Yetis. I just don't like having 5 dead cards against a common deck. But if you're pretty sure that you're not going to, then I think it's okay. That's maybe the only card I would question. Everything else, I don't mind the one-ofs. I don't know if it needs 2 jetpacks and a mod. Like, you could maybe go down to a total of 2 of those, but it's good. He's shown it's a good deck. He knows how to play it well, so he'll be in very good shape.
Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing, the 27-time champion. Let's take a look at his rival here, Vengevine. Vengevine is so mysterious, we don't even have a portrait of him. That's how mysterious he is. But he is not running the deck he won with this last weekend. He's running with what looks to be a variant of it. So he's still got stuff like Lotus, Nuwada, Eidolon, sort of the standard aspects of the deck in that way. Krogias to maybe turn him into it. But instead of running what everyone and their mom would say is the obvious choice of Deathweaver, he's gotten away from Deathweaver, and he's just running good Aloyan cards in Strategist, Tactician. He's got the Justicar to combat the mirror matchup. Warmonger Mod, Jetpack are fun for punching through. He now has Weirwood Patriarchs to be buffing stuff like the Offspring of Eidolon. What do you think about this? To me, this deck just looks substantially worse. I don't know. Am I crazy here, Randalls?
You're not crazy. Tarsus and Varna's pack are really strong. He's got 7 cards, though, that make his underleveled plays stronger. The Strategist, the Battletech, and the Patriarch. And that should give him some really good consistency. And against Weevil, Nuada should be pretty good. I feel like both decks are going to kind of get to sit on their side of the board and do what they want to. And I think this deck is probably likes that setup a little bit more.
I'm a little bit worried for him in this particular matchup because I think we may finally get to see Vault Blockade, Jetpack, Pump, and that Vault Blockade might actually be able to finally do some work for him. We haven't really seen EvilWeevil get to use the Vault Blockade. I'm excited to see that we might get to here.
Yeah, that's true. No Botanimate. Yeah, no real way to deal with that.
Yeah, no Epidemic, no Botanimate. It's just there's that window for it to go crazy. We'll have to see. It's kind of a risky play. Maybe not risky, but it's tough because it grows so slowly. So we'll have to see if he decides to go that route. I'm just very curious.
We may see Vault Blockade on one side and Nuada on the other side, just sort of staring at each other, waiting for something to happen.
That will be funny. I think your comment is very interesting that you feel like this is a pretty consistent version of the deck. So that's kind of what I'm wondering. Has he traded the explosiveness of the Deathweaver comboing with all this stuff for what he feels like is a little bit more consistency, that he can count on more regularly these cards like Lotus to always have like 6 attack, 2 more attack than what they normally have. He can count on underdrops to be buffed by Patriarchs. I'm just very curious to see what his rationale is behind this deck.
Yeah, I am too. I think in general I would prefer Tarsus for the survivability. If you can keep that guy on the board for an extra turn, you have to throw 2 cards at him instead of 1. Whereas this one with the Strategist and Battletech, be good at trading and it'll be good at pushing through a little damage, but his guys won't survive any better than they would.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see. So let's bring these guys in and talk to them. Let's get EvilWeevil in here. His patented music. Oh yeah, this is winner's music right here. When he hears this, he just snaps into winner. All right, champ. What's happening, champ? Are you looking forward to maybe, just maybe, taking home some alt art today?
I am looking forward to that. I thought that maybe you instituted that policy once you thought I was going to lose. You were just waiting.
I'm curious to know, since we've heard about your deck before, what alt art legendary are you hoping to win today?
That's a good question. I would probably go for Gox. I have one alt art Gox already, although it is unclaimed. I got top 4 in the March 5th or something Forge Watch Invitational qualifier and never received my alt art. So that was supposed to be a Gox, so I would try to bug them about that, and then I could have 2.
Gotcha. So you're publicly calling out Forge Watch here for not delivering on their promise. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, really, I just like to... I don't even ask for it anymore because I just like to complain about it.
Fair enough. So how do you think you're going to do against Vengevine's deck today? And might we see Vault Blockade?
This deck is... I mean, it's entirely an unknown quantity, so it's really hard to know. I think you might definitely see some Vault Blockade. I'm not sure it's the best matchup for it, because it doesn't necessarily make an immediate impact, and he's playing a lot of cards that are pretty powerful on the board, like Battletech and Nuada and Oros and things like that. I like Blockade more when it can when you feel like it can sit around and pick up buffs for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. But he has no way to deal with it, so it could definitely come down if the situation is right.
Okay. Interesting. I'm kind of hoping we see one. I don't think we've seen one yet from you.
There were some in the game versus Hans.
Okay. That was months ago. I don't remember because that game alone took 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of forgot. All right.
But it wasn't a lot. Like there weren't any that grew out of control.
Are there any more great insights you want to provide on this deck that you haven't provided in the past?
I don't think so. I think that it's just the most consistent deck out there. And that's why I feel comfortable bringing the same list. I don't think you really can metagame this list. I mean, some decks are better than others against it, obviously, but I don't think there's a straight counter. So that's why I feel comfortable bringing it multiple times.
Gotcha. And you still feel like Gargoyle is a man amongst boys?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and bring our other competitor in. The one and only Vengevine. Let's get his music going. I don't even know the song. Oh, it's very calm and soothing. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like loser's music. Come on, man. All right. How you doing, Vengevine?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the Forge, man. How did it feel winning the tournament last weekend?
Well, yeah, that's a funny story because so I got on Breakers for 16th.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, because I lost my last round to Yetis, and I wasn't sure if I was getting in. And then and because where I was, I had great matchups until the finals, which I did not think I was winning.
That's interesting. So basically, the way the top 16 set up, you had pretty good matchups.
Yeah, I played Mono Loyan, and then I played that like Invoker Brew.
Yeah, it seems like some of the decks running Devourers are what I might have been fearful of. So did you not really see any Devourers on the way up?
No, not in the tournament.
Gotcha.
My only 2 losses were Yetis, and like I did not draw leveled cards at like level 2 and stuff.
That can certainly cause you to lose.
Yeah.
So Krogius was your all-star, right, in the final?
Oh yeah.
If I remember correctly. So we're gonna see a little of it today.
Maybe. Yeah. Like game 1, I know game 1 of the finals, I was like got crushed, and I was like, well, I think I only win with Krogius. So I'm just gonna level it.
Nice. How many Krogiuses did you get leveled?
I think it was just 1 each time.
Okay. And did you get the Krogius 3 in both of your wins?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I
Game
missed the finals.
3, I don't think I needed it as badly because I also had the level 3 Roar of the turn I had it, but it helped.
Interesting. Okay, cool. And why did you decide not to play that deck and play this deck instead?
So I was trying to play it in like constructed queues, and I just kept hitting Yetis. And while you can play around cards from them to beat Yetis, you can't always do it when you just draw hands where you just have like nothing and then just your only creature's Nuada, and you're like forced to play it and they just blow you out. I wanted to play something where I have like Thundersoar, but also like different like cards. So I tried a Loyan, where I have Strategist and Battletech, where I can just grow wide without relying on the combo, because you also have to have like Tarsus and Pact in play or something.
Okay.
Whereas Pact is like kind of random. Mm-hmm. And the other good thing about this is playing the Loyan lets you play Justicar. So if you hit like the mirror, you can just jam Justicar and sometimes stop them doing their thing while you just can go on your own plan still with the Lotus or the Nuada.
Okay, so Zerandals has made an observation that he feels like this deck is maybe more consistent, but lacks some of the explosion of the Deathweaver variant. Is that how you would describe it? You're seeking more consistency?
Um, you can be explosive early. I've had games where if you just go off early with like that, like some cards in Roar, you can do a ton of damage early. You just don't have. I guess it's not as explosive because Pack Tarsus is just so powerful that if you just hit something huge with Pact and you just get like better, I guess like better cards maybe. But I think it's more aggressive.
Okay. And what's your prediction today? Do you think you're gonna beat EvilWeevil 3 straight times, or do you think he might, take half a game from you? What do you think?
I hope I just don't get 0-3, but I think it will be close. Because there's some cards that I probably have trouble with in his decks. So I think the cards will decide.
Okay. So you're gonna say maybe a 3-2 victory for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Fair enough. All right. Well, Randalls, what do you think? Who's gonna win this thing?
Well, I think I would not be surprised to see each of them have a game where they just blow the other person out, where they get to set up their board just the way they want and with no interaction, do whatever the heck they want. But I'm going to have to go with EvilWeevil. He's shown he knows exactly how to play the deck, and I'm sure he will adjust well to this. I think it'll be a good match, though.
Yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I feel like there's going to be a game where Vengevine just blows out EvilWeevil with some crazy early plays. But I think what I think is interesting is that Vengevine might have a greater advantage than others have had against EvilWeevil in that EvilWeevil knows every matchup inside and out except for matchups that have not yet existed. So in that regard, Vengevine is on a little bit more even footing than some people have in the past. However, I do feel like the AU deck is really, really strong, and I think it should be able to win this matchup. I'm not 100% convinced of that, but I think EvilWeevil will win. I'm going to go with 3-1 EvilWeevil. What about you, Randalls?
The last thing I want to do is agree with you.
Yes, I got 3-1 in first.
So I'm going to say 3-2.
Okay.
And I think so. EvilWeevil's never seen this specific deck, but he's very familiar with both halves of it. Like he knows the Nuada package with Lotus and Thundersword and Patriarch, and he knows BattleTech and Strategist. So I don't think he'll be too shocked by anything he sees.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think he's ever seen BattleTech before. Okay, let's go ahead and get on with the game then. All right, so we have it reversed this week. Vengevine is the board who's showing, and he's apparently taking on Computer Hard. So let's go ahead and Vengevine have you challenge EvilWeevil. The challenge might already be out, I'm not sure. But as much as we want to see you whoop Computer Hard, you should probably switch the game. Yeah, what do you think, Randalls, while we wait here? Which card do you think is better? The Wyvern or the Gnome?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm excited to try both of them. I'm a little bit wary of the Wyvern just because it takes a little more to get it going. The Gnome, honestly, the card I compare it to, which may sound weird, is Static Shock. Where there's not much downside to it other than the fact that it takes up a slot in your hand, but it replaces itself when you do use it. So it just seems like it fills a really nice role in Aloyan, filling up lanes, which is usually a tough thing for them to do. So I think, kind of fits with the style I'd like to play a little more, so I think that's the one I'm looking forward to trying, but I think they're both good, and we'll see a lot of them.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. The Gnome fits more into my greedy stuff that I like to play. I'm going to definitely be playing an Energy Surge, Gox, Gnome, Dragon deck. I feel like that could be really strong. But I also feel like that Wyvern has a lot of upside and can do some pretty serious stuff. So, Vengevine, we're not able to see your game right now. Something happened with your screen share. If you can hear me. I am able to see what he did, though, through EvilWeevil stuff. He played an Oros in 1 and an Eidolon in 5, and EvilWeevil has a Sentinel in 5. So, he chose the EvilWeevil chose the Sentinel over the Patriarch, which was kind of interesting. And Vengevine, we still cannot see your game if you have indeed shared it.
So PTK asks in chat what we think about bringing back the old Dravatar deck with the gnome involved without using Drix.
I'll probably do that. Though for me, Dragon has to be in the mix. So I'll probably... I don't like Drix. I'm going to say that right now. I just don't like Drix. I feel like you're really all in on trying to get that to work, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. So I will definitely be trying Dravatar without Drix. All right, so it looks like we have everything going, and we see Aegis Knight coming down with a Patriarch. Just Patriarch's a good card to level. Aegis Knight will be able to trade with that Oros. And Eidolon makes his pop, and what does he do from here? Is he going to go ahead and roar so that his Oros can live?
I wouldn't. I don't like playing roar if I can avoid it, unless I'm just blowing somebody out. So yeah, I would do the same thing. Just level your best cards.
Yep, I agree. It's such a huge board threat. Also, I mean the Thundersaur there is going to keep growing. Leveling Patriarch is just a smart play. Oh, he's got it. Randall's. He can go Vault Blockade, blowing out somebody. Aegis Knight kills Eidolon. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's see how big of stones EvilWeevil has.
He can blow out the Thundersaur. Just post-com draw.
Pow. I
I don't know if you do it though.
Would you do it, or would you just play Thundersaur because Thundersaur is a really strong card? You could drop it in front of the 3/3. It's going to grow to pretty big size.
You could play Vault Blockade. Cards leveled.
I missed what you said there.
Thundersaur. And he will be...
You're kind of cutting out, Zrandals. I'm not sure what's happening there.
All right. I wonder if that's my internet.
Now you're fine. It's only when you say something insightful, then you immediately cut out.
Anytime you can't hear me, just pretend that I'm saying something amazing.
That sounds good. All right, so Patriarch looks good there. Buff his stuff. Let's see, I imagine he's going to go post-combat Oros, I guess? Yeah, feels like.
Oros is a consistent card, good in almost every matchup.
Yeah. So he's got a full board. This is what we were talking about, where it could be the game where he gets a pretty big lead. I think it's interesting that... Okay, so he decides not to play the Thundersaur because he wants to just go for blowout stuff, which I think is right. Ooh. Especially with that next hand.
Totally fun.
Alright, so what's Vengevine going to do? Is he going to get that Thundersaur going? Is he going to Strategist? He's got some choices here.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Patriarch. And yeah, I wonder if he'll try to get either a Battletech or a Strategist leveled.
I kind of like Strategist here in 2 so that he can kill that Sentinel, just get it off the board so there are less robots around. But I can definitely understand the thought of, hey, Patriarch Thundersaur, best cards in my deck pretty much. Let's just get crazy and level those cards. That seems pretty solid. That 0/1 Vault Blockade is not looking good. I was hoping we would see better stuff from that, Zrandals. What's going on? You can certainly go, say, Gargoyle in 1 or 5, doesn't matter. Sentinel in the other one. Everything stays alive. It's sort of the safe, easy play. The question is, would he rather do something about the Thundersaur? I don't think you do here. I think we might have lost Randall's. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. Randall's, if you can hear me, it might just be best if you disconnect from the call and then reconnect. All right, so he's got a very solid board. Patriarch into a Roar might be good here.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. I can hear you. Yep, and he does it. So that feels pretty good.
That's definitely internet on my end.
It's okay. But Vengevine's got a pretty good looking board here. He just pulled off a Roar to basically give himself a full board of giant dudes. And EvilWeevil really needed to find a Sentinel here and did not. So he's going to lose his Gargoyle. Oh, he's going to Roar. Interesting. I thought he might Patriarch there instead. Okay. So he's going to Roar to save his Gargoyle.
This way he can save the Gargoyle.
Yeah. That's probably right. And that way he can hope to get a Sentinel next turn. His opponent doesn't have Epidemic. Like normally that's a little bit dicey, but when your opponent's not running any Epidemic, any sort of removal, I feel like you can get away with that kind of play a little bit more easily. There's
I mean, that's, I guess, an underrated thing that didn't talk about him losing his Epidemics when you switched from Necreum.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the things I was thinking about, that you lose the little amount of removal you might have had before.
Yeah, this is kind of a tricky spot. I would tend to just take the 22 because you really can't have any kind of good trade there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, blocking Sentinel doesn't really do anything. The problem is with his deck, what is he going to be able to draw that does? And there he just drew it. The Thundersaur too, of course.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll be pretty much perfect for him because EvilWeevil will have to buff him somehow. And he's probably not going to want to. Although, a Roar might work here. Let's see. Sentinel. Yeah, Sentinel Roar might actually be the play here. Keep that Gargoyle alive one more time. Yep. Yeah, that looks pretty strong. And now the Vault Blockade. Randall's. It's almost a threat.
If only it could attack.
By player level 4, that thing's going to be a beast.
Yeah, this is good too because he sets up to kill that Thundersaur.
Yep.
That
works out really well.
Wonderful block.
Oh man, he can't. He won't even trade. It's just going to straight eat it.
Yeah, it'd be tempting to overwrite that Seedling with Strategist.
Yeah, right. Just to make sure that it trades.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't make sure, but you'd give yourself a reasonable chance at least.
Right. So he kind of did that route anyway, right? So he weakened him, so now he will trade, in theory, unless he's able to Sentinel or do something. I think if I'm EvilWeevil here, I just move that Gargoyle over. Like there's no reason to give up that Gargoyle.
Yeah, Vengevine doesn't have an answer to that Gargoyle other than filling every lane, basically.
Yep. There we go. I like that. And then he gets to blow him out with the Aegis Knight.
Yeah, that's big.
That's pretty strong. I feel like he's got... I was just about to say, I feel like it's pretty much over. And then I looked and noticed EvilWeevil was getting trucked in life total. I didn't even realize how badly EvilWeevil was losing the game.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It's just funny how you go from looking like you're crushing.
Yeah. He started out really strong.
All right, here we go. Buffing a lot of guys with these plays.
All right, you can maybe take out... No, you can't take out the gargoyle. Yeah, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, doesn't actually matter, but looked cool.
That Vault Blockade is just going to get so many free kills.
That Vault Blockade, I really think it's going to be the all-star in this matchup, which is just so cool to see it just completely dominating. I think if it's me, I've moved the gargoyle into 5, and I roar. And then the question is, do I also Warmonger mod, or do I play like, say, the Aegis Knight in 1 to block off that lane? Because he is down to 29. You know, he's a little bit low. I don't know if you can be that greedy with gargoyle. Actually, I think you can, because if you go roar mod, you'll kill the thing in 3 with the Vault Blockade. You'll move over. You'll pick up the guy in 4, which sets you up next turn to where one of the 3 lanes will probably be open out of 3, 4, and 5. So I think I would have Warmonger modded there, which probably sounds crazy.
Yeah, and his play is pretty safe.
Yeah, definitely. His play is the solid safe play. My play was more the swing for the fences kind of play, and my play was actually flawed anyway, because Lotus can just fill all the lanes.
Yeah, and there's no reason to swing for the fences when he's this far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit tough here. The Patriarch makes them all reasonably leveled. How much does he give him? Is it +5?
5, yeah.
Yeah, so the Vault Blockade will still eat that Lotus, and then the Gargoyle will still swing through for 19-24 next turn if you want. So that's
yeah.
Vengevine is like, how do I want to lose this in the least bad way possible?
He needs one more point of defense, one more point of health, because there's going to be an open lane for Gargoyle. That's what he's trying to avoid, and there's no way to avoid it.
Yep, exactly. He's in a rough spot here. He damaged the Vault Blockade.
Yeah. I guess if he had put that Patriarch in front of the Vault Blockade, he would have trapped Gargoyle.
What do you have? Wouldn't 3 be open? What was in 3? I don't remember.
No, he'd still have just the Lotus would be sitting there.
Oh yeah, right? that one was against an empty lane. Yeah, maybe that would have been better actually.
Yeah. If you have a chance to take out this Gargoyle, you have to just do it any way you can.
Yeah, I mean, Evils does have to handle the 12-2. If he moves his Vault Blockade in front of the Patriarch, he sort of risks losing it. I imagine he's just going to roar. Yeah. I think the play is Vault Blockade moves over, Gargoyle moves over, Matrix Warden in 1, buffing Gargoyle, roar.
Yeah.
He takes 11 from the Lotus and eats all of his stuff. Oh, so exciting to see the Vault Blockade do some work. Actually, I think what he's considering is, instead of my play, just buffing the Vault Blockade and roaring, and then he just outright eats the Patriarch here and now. And I think that is better. What do you think, Randalls? Is that the way you would go?
Yeah, and I don't...
Ooh. He's reaching for different cards. Interesting. I'm not sure I understand that play. Oh, okay. So he doesn't want to leave him open.
That's okay. That's safe. There's no leveled Warmonger mod.
Yeah, and you know what?
And then you could.
I forgot he had a Warmonger mod. So Vengevine does have the one Warmonger mod he could have found and done something crazy with to maybe pull off the win.
Yeah, you're trying to play. You're just trying to make sure you don't lose to say like Warmonger and the part.
Yep, I agree. All right, there it is.
You got the pop in the right man.
He got the gargoyle hemmed in. Finally gets to kill him, and then EvilWeevil goes, how do you like Sentinel 3?
Whoop.
Or just...
How do you like Jetpack?
That.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just cruel. All right. And EvilWeevil...
That was a good one.
Takes the first one. All right, so EvilWeevil is... I don't know. How are we going to say this? EvilWeevil's player 1, I guess, still. Because that's where his deck list is. Even though they're opposite. Alright, so EvilWeevil. He got the first one. So I predicted 3-1s. Randall's predicted 3-2. So Randall's, what can Vengevine do to make that game go differently?
I think he needs to get Nuada down. I don't know if he had a chance to. But I think that's his most explosive line of play.
Yeah, I'm not sure I remember seeing a Nuada. That's interesting. Yeah, Jetpack. Jetpack is the card that made me lose my hat, so I know all about Jetpack beating me. I don't know if you've seen that video, Randall's. I was a little surprised. Someone Jetpack Warmonger mod me to beat me. I didn't like that. So Mappo thinks that he needs to level his Krogus to get to a serious endgame threat to be able to win. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think if he can get a Nuada down and make big guys, I think that will be enough.
Yeah, I mean, if he can sneak that Krogius in somewhere, but I don't know. I think he gets rolled over if he tries to do that.
Yep, there we go. Double Patriarch, and here we go, Nuada. So my question is, does he play the Battletech here? Because that's sort of what he was saying. Or does he just play Nuada and Patriarch because they're the two best cards in his deck? What do you think? Would you play
Battletech's the best play for right now because he gets to trade off that Patriarch.
Yep.
But
so this is a clear now or later play. He's going for the now play, which is decent later as well.
I mean, yeah, Battletech's not bad later either.
Yeah. I mean, another strong play, of course, would have been Battletech Patriarch. I mean, that's just a really, really strong play generally.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have Leafkin, does he?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So this is tempting. Would you be tempted to go Blockade in front of Nuada, Aegis Knight in front of Oros, pretty much wipe out all his threats, but then not level your Gargoyle when your opponent has no way to handle them and they clearly just won the last game?
Yeah, well, Vault Blockade also kind of won the last game. But if he doesn't take this chance, to blow out that Nuada, it's going to take him 3 turns to kill it.
Yep, and
Gargoyles are bad at killing it. Yeah. Gargoyles are really bad at taking out Nuada. They only attack every other turn.
I feel like he's at a crossroads here. Because if he passes on the Gargoyles here, the whole rest of the game he's going to be drawing under-leveled Gargoyles. Alright, I'm glad he took this line, because I think this is the more interesting line. I'm not sure it's the line I would have taken. I might have been a little more wary to pass up on my own Gargoyles. They're just so good.
Yeah. So Vengevine needs to start planning right now how he's going to handle that Vault Blockade. And luckily he has the Battletech this time, which will help.
So you can just throw a Eidolon in front of it and be really close to killing it. Just one roar now will kill it.
Yeah, he really needs that roar.
He really needs that roar before EvilWeevil roars his very own. This is a tough spot for EvilWeevil. I would kind of like to go Blockade Roar, but probably better would be Justicar in lane 3 Roar.
Yeah, Justicar is pretty safe.
It also makes it so that you should be able to kill that Thundersaur with your Patriarch, barring a roar back the other way. The Eidolon's pop will be pathetic. I'm not sure if that's really going to be factoring into the decision there.
Yeah, no, you'll kill the Thundersaur even with a roar the other.
Yeah, you're right. You'll still kill him. Good point. Not sure why I said that.
So yeah, I think the roar comes out no matter what. It's tempting to play either the other Vault Blockade or the Tactician. I think they're all reasonable.
Yep, I do too. I think I play Justicar here. I think your opponent's whole deck is doing that Lotus comeback play. I feel like this is why you play Justicar in your deck. And if you're not going to play him here, then it makes me start thinking, why is he in the deck?
Yeah. It's also tempting, I think, to put the other Vault Blockade down because they're not going to get killed very quickly, and they just will start clearing out 2 lanes at a time with your Aegis Knights. But yeah, I think Justicar is a little bit safer.
Ooh, so he's able to kill the Vault Blockade. Crunch. And he has a 12-8 Eidolon to show for it. Oh my.
That's big.
That's pretty good. So EvilWeevil could have gone Sentinel in front of it. Aegis Knight blows out the Strategist in 5. Trades with the Eidolon. But again, he'd have to pass on the last Gargoyle. I mean, this is his chance to have 1 level 2 Gargoyle in the deck. I'm not sure he can pass up on it.
I think you throw the Gargoyle in front, pump it with a Matrix Warden.
And then just kill it. Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
probably...
You
This
get
is
it off the
another
board.
now or later play, right? Like, so the clear now play is to go Sentinel, Aegis Knight. Alright, so he's going to take a different line. He's going to kill the Strategist, eat 20 damage from an Eidolon, and hope. I don't like that play. The reason being that he doesn't have the big Gargoyles this time to just plop down in front of that Eidolon and eat it.
Yeah, I would have tossed the Gargoyle there.
Yep, I think I would have as well.
He's not drawing into much that's going to trade great with that Eidolon, so yeah, I'd be happy to take it out with a level 1 card.
Yeah, I feel like that might be a play that we look at later and think that could have been a turning point. But he did get a really good draw here to where he can play a Gargoyle, play a Sentinel. The Sentinel will end up eating that Eidolon unless it gets pumped again. That could be pretty good. You can move the Gargoyle over in front of the Strategist, kill that. See what he decides to do.
Well, I would still probably vote for the same play that I wanted to do last time.
So he's going to go for the double.
Okay, so you went double. Yeah, that's
sure he can eat it.
reasonable too.
Yep. And that makes it so you can eat the guy. Alright, Battletech 2. Making those little saplings into some pretty serious problems. The question is, what's the other play? Is he going to play another Eidolon?
I don't love any of his other plays, but I think the one he's doing is the best.
Yeah, I think so too. They're at least 8-3s, so that's pretty reasonable. I feel like he's got a really good position right now. I'm kind of going back to that early play and wondering if not leveling those Gargoyles is just a real problem. Because he wasn't able to fully exploit the Vault Blockade. So we'll have to see if he's able to turn this around. He already turned it around.
I mean, you can see how strong that one Gargoyle he has is. Like, it just keeps surviving and taking things out.
Yep. When your opponent has no removal, it's just really nice to have that Gargoyle. I think he's got a Nuwata here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then probably try to get lucky on a triple Lotus. Yeah, seems right. Boom, he got the triple Lotus. Oh, Nelly. Now, EvilWeevil has to find a Sentinel or that Gargoyle will finally die. Oh, nope. He could double roar if he wanted. I don't think he's going to double
I don't
roar.
think you can. No. I think you would need your Justicar down at this point.
Yeah, Justicar definitely feels like the right play.
It's probably Justicar and Roar, and then chuck your Gargoyle into the Nuada. Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, not enough move. Okay, so... Yeah, I think you have to put... I put Justicar in front of Nuada. You need to start dealing with it.
Yeah, if you're going to roar, I definitely like that. If you're not going to roar, I like that a little bit less. I'm not sure I'd want to roar here, though. Alright, looks like he's going to. My thought being that maybe you want to block off another lane. He's at 54. He's getting a little bit low. Oh, man. He can go Thundersoar. He's got to check. How much am I getting? 10? I'm going to lose 10? What?
Yeah.
Suddenly, he's missing his Death Weaver.
Yep, for sure.
Yep. Thundersoar is the clear play. And then the question after that is, do you roar or do you Oros? I think you probably Oros here. And then you can turn
there are a lot more situations in your next player level where you're happy to draw Oros. Like every time you draw him, you're happy.
Yep.
Whereas Roar, if the board state turns on you, you don't really want him.
Yep. I imagine you turn one of these into a 4/14.
Yeah.
Which is just straight up better than what it is.
Mm-hmm. And he'll get one more chance to activate Nuada, but
maybe
she's much less impressive.
Mod. It's Randall's. He could Warmonger mod.
He could.
You know you want him to. Seriously though, I'd be somewhat tempted to Warmonger mod the Patriarch, because he's gonna take a lot of damage. He's gonna take 20 damage next turn, and then 20 minus whatever he blocks with. He's only at 46. I don't know. I mean, he might not be able to with the board state.
He could. Well, if your mod.
Yep, that's the play.
Knight and Rome.
Well done, EvilWeevil.
Yeah.
I
you leave Oros alone, which slows you down a little bit.
I forget how much blowout the knight has. I'm gonna enlarge my view here. All right, so that ridiculous Justicar is still there, causing poor Vengevine endless problems.
Yeah, and he's just one off from killing it. Oh no, he's not. He should be good. Oh, no, he's one off. Yeah.
Yeah, so he just kills it. Playing an Eidolon to almost be able to handle the Justicar, and then and then he played his Battletech. So now we're going back the other way. He's at 105. I didn't even realize he was at 105 right now. Oh my goodness. So he's going for the blowout. Here it comes. I think he's doing it. Some lag. Yep, he went for it.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep. Only one play there.
Yeah.
So he's given up all the life to take a very commanding board position, which is generally the way to do it.
Sure is, unless your opponent pulls a Thundersoar 3 out of his hide.
Yep, that's going to hurt.
Question is, what do you do here? You could go Eidolon, stick him in front of the Aegis Knight with the Battletech buff, will kill him.
No, I think you battle and throw a Warmonger mod on the Thundersoar.
You can't though. The Warmonger mod is level gated.
You're right.
Otherwise, I would totally agree. I mean, you could have done Patriarch before battle.
Yeah.
Not really sure what you do now. I feel like that was kind
I
of
think
a weird
Patriarch's
play.
still the best play even after battle.
Right. Like either you probably should have played that in 5 before battle, or gone Eidolon in 2 before battle. I think every play was better before battle, but
yeah, I mean it's the classic situation of you start to do one thing, you do half of it, and then realize, oh wait, should have done it differently. Yeah. But you still just make the best play, make the best of the situation.
You look foolish for a moment and you move on.
Yep.
I know all about that. I think probably here just. I was gonna say Sentinel 3 Roar, but can he really race down that Thundersaur? What is he gonna do about this Thundersaur? I'm not sure what he does.
Well, I think he has to hope for next turn to get an Aegis Knight blowout. So you have to take it within range of Bright Steel Aegis Knight. So I think you put some damage on it.
Wow.
Even though, I mean, you're putting yourself in a situation where if you don't draw exactly that, you lose.
Well, let's look at it this way. If we go Sentinel 3 Roar, he's going to have everyone live. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. So the question is, can he race him? 13.
From 89? With a Vault Blockade that doesn't attack? I don't think so.
Yeah, you might be right. You might have to just jetpack. Alright, so he is going the racing route. Let's see, where's he at here? He's got him down to 68. I don't know. The problem is, with your opponent having Lotuses, they really slow down that process.
Yeah, not as much, though, when you have Trample or Breakthrough.
What about Jetpack? Is Jetpack on the Thundersaur? Oh, no, he's 15. Oh, man. That would have been interesting.
That would have been very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like putting a card in 4 and then Lotus.
Yeah, okay. I think that's fine.
It's not ideal, but to kill one of the guys at least, you're still racing with a Thundersaur that he has to handle or he's going to lose. He did get the Aegis Knight, but he didn't get the other half.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have mattered, though. He didn't set himself up to have that out.
I mean, he did have an out in his hand. He could have pulled Sentinel plus Aegis Knight, and then he would blow.
No, I don't think that was enough because that wouldn't kill. Oh no, no. Okay, I take it back.
Sentinel 3 would.
Yeah, Sentinel 3 would.
Let's see. He's only at 14. Can he survive this? He pushes through 21, get him to 28. He's got Breakthrough. I don't think he can win this one.
No, I don't think he has any outs.
His only hope would be I was gonna say his only hope would be I couldn't come up with a hope. So that was a problem. Alright. Maybe he won't lose if his opponent doesn't have Battletech and Strategist 3 in his hand. Which he does. Kaboom. Yeah, I mean, EvilWeevil, I feel like, had that game 100% locked up. And then Thundersaur 3 came down and said, what? Locked up what? Who had what locked up? Alright. Let's go ahead and kick off a giveaway here. Oops, that's not what I meant to type. Oh, that's weird. What is going on with you? Computer? Why are you being so crazy right now? There we go. Alright, are you still there, Randall's?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm kind of losing you here and there. But maybe
Yeah, somebody said it sounds like I'm talking through that American flag.
Alright, so let's do hashtags Randall's is the giveaway key for this giveaway. So go ahead and type hashtags Randall's into the chat, and that will qualify you while we play this next game. Alright, here we go. Oh, I love getting opening turn Lotus. I think it's the best time for it. Oh, fine. He's going to play Nuada. That works too, I guess. Do you just botanimate that Nuada and move on? That is kind of tempting.
I'll have to wait till I see the rest of his hand. What else has he got?
He's got a Thundersaur. He's got a Sentinel. He wants to level them both. He has Matrix Warden, and he has Battletech.
I'd probably botanimate and throw the Thundersaur in front of it.
I think I would do the same thing. He really likes Sentinel, though. I know that much about him from watching him play this deck before. I thought he was going to play Sentinel because he really wants to have them leveled for that Aegis Knight blowout later. I think everyone else in the world would have played a Thundersaur there. But EvilWeevil says, Thundersaur, it's all about the Sentinel, baby.
Yeah, Sentinel's obviously very good, but still pretty good underleveled.
And that's the difference in how he plays this deck. He does not play this deck as underleveled Sentinels will help Gargoyles blow out. He plays it as on-leveled Sentinels set up bonkers blowouts with Aegis Knight.
Yep.
And that I think that's one of the major
reasonable
differences with how he plays this than how I've seen other people play AU decks. All right, so again there, he had some options. I kind of think I like Thundersaur there instead of the Aegis Knight 5.
So do I.
And I might have even played the Vault Blockade as well. I think I would have played that turn entirely differently.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you on that one.
So
He's passed up 2 of his Thundersaurs.
What's up?
He's passed up 2 of his Thundersaurs, which means he's low on Thundersaur answers, but he hasn't seen too many on the other side.
Yeah.
I think it's going to pay off for him. I think he's in a much, much better position right now.
No, the problem is this hand right here is a bit dicey. It just doesn't really have a lot going on. I mean, you could go something like Gargoyle 4 with the armor, it would live. You could buff it with the Matrix Warden, but you're still going to have the Justicar living, the Eidolon living. I don't know. I mean, Patriarch maybe is the right play. Patriarch's just a good card.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get Patriarch Gargoyle down if I can.
Yeah, I mean, those are certainly the 2 best cards. The problem is, I don't know, I'm not sure it's the best play here because then the Gargoyle is going to die. It feels like EvilWeevil's at his best when he has a Gargoyle or 2 roaming around and just wrecking the world.
Yeah. Well, I can see this game playing out very similarly to the last one, where EvilWeevil's going to lose another 40 or 50 points of life, but stabilize the board.
Yep, kind of seems that way. And that is the nice play about the Patriarch, is it allows the Battletech to live. Okay, so he's going to go Gargoyle in 1. That's interesting.
Yeah, going for pure value, hoping not to get roared.
And let's see. Got some plays here. I mean, his board is looking stronger and stronger. That seems reasonable. The only problem is you are blocking that spot for your Battletech. I might be more inclined to play the Eidolon in that spot. Oh, okay. He's just going to go double Oros. Gotcha. That makes sense as well. I mean, the Lotus is kind of interesting there, but then they just both get eaten. This way, at least he's doing something. Alright, is he going to be able to pull it off? No Sentinel blowout this turn. EvilWeevil, where are all the Sentinel blowouts? Oh, okay, so he's just going to give away his Gargoyle. He's decided he can't take 10 literally every turn.
Yeah, at some point you have to.
And Oros in 1, yeah. So now he's really setting up to try to win this thing before EvilWeevil can stabilize this game. He's not messing around anymore.
Yeah,
but
he's in very good shape.
Messed around. Sentinel 1, move Gargoyle over, Aegis Knight blowout. That looks really solid to me. And that's why he plays on level Sentinels.
Yep.
They busted.
That's pretty huge.
I feel like that is. I feel like that's a pretty big. I'm surprised he's thinking so long about it. It makes me think he must be considering some sort of roar play or even playing Vault Blockade instead of Sentinel. But
yeah. I don't see why though. No, I don't think.
Right, it just feels really obvious to play Aegis Knight. Okay, so he is going for what at least seemed like the intuitive, obvious play. He thought about it for a while, though. I'm very curious to know what exactly he was considering there.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
If he wins this game, maybe I'll try to get him to record a video of us talking about all of his plays in this match, because he's won like 100 straight times. So we'll have to see. All right, so you got a possibility here of doing something like Strategist 2, filling all the lanes with Lotus. I don't know. What do you think about that? Yeah, Strategist 4, of course. Or I suppose that. And then Strategist 2.
Well, okay. There you go.
That's not what I intended to say there. Very curious why he would play that first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just burned him really badly.
Yeah, it really did. I don't understand.
He can still hem in the gargoyle, but yeah, he really wanted that strategist in too.
Yeah, I think that's just, and that could be a game losing play too, because that he would have had a really big presence, and now EvilWeevil could swing it.
He was in some trouble, but yeah, I think that dropped his winning chances by 20% or something.
Yeah, luckily EvilWeevil didn't really get the hand to be able to capitalize on it, though.
Yeah.
That's one of the interesting things about Soulforge is sometimes blunders can sort of get masked by your opponents not drawing very well, or vice versa. Sometimes they can be masked by your opponents drawing exceptionally well, to where that hides the blunder as well. Like, well, they drew 2 level 3s anyway, so my blunder doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's one thing that makes the game really interesting, is you could be making that same mistake. Say you make a mistake constantly early in player level 1, and you never notice it because you don't lose the game until 7 turns later, and you blame it on whatever just happened.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of the aspects of the game that makes it really, really challenging for new players, because they come into the game looks really easy, they get a big lead on player level 1, and then lose in player levels 2 and 3, and don't understand what happened. Right? Like, I was winning. Yeah. I was winning by a wide margin. How'd I lose? And a good player looks at that and goes, you made so many bad plays. And like, well, how? I was winning. Are you blind, man? Like, okay.
The feedback is very indirect.
Yes, definitely.
It's easier when you, like, play an avatar as your second play and immediately get laughed at.
No one would do that, though. That's just craziness. I don't quite understand why he's playing a Nuada there. I know he's going to roar.
It will trade if he roars. Yeah, well,
sure,
in theory, it will trade.
Right, that assumes the best for him on the other. I know he has the life advantage.
What else is he going to play?
Yeah, but if
you mean
like
just
here,
play in a different lane? Okay.
Right, he leverages his life advantage here and uses a resource. Yeah, empty lane the Nuada, make sure it doesn't trade, and now it's going to trade because he's just going to Matrix Warden it, or he'll just Botanimate it. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think empty lane was the right play there?
Empty lane was the right play.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he had to leverage his health advantage, because otherwise he's going to lose to. He's getting very lucky though with EvilWeevil just not ever drawing answers. If I were EvilWeevil, I'd be sitting over there going, "Come on, this guy has made some questionable plays, and I just can't capitalize." It'd be frustrating. But he does get to put down the Matrix Warden, trade it off, and move on. Alright, let's see what Vengevine can do here. He's got the chance now. Alright, he's just going to roar. Problem is, it's a board full of junk. And again, if EvilWeevil can capitalize, he should be in some pretty good shape. Is he going to actually play a Thundersaur?
It's getting to the point, though, where strategist is really, really scary for EvilWeevil.
Yeah,
you
that's
see
true.
if you see something with movement come down, you don't have many answers for it.
Yep, for sure. I feel like this has been a very dicey player level 2 for EvilWeevil.
He hasn't drawn very well at all.
Alright, so he's going to Patriarch to buff the Matrix Warden, and then drop an Aegis Knight down for a blowout. And hope that things go better. Alright, so I think we're going to have to see the strategist here, right?
Oh yeah, let's
Strategist.
definitely just ignore that Aegis Knight.
Yeah. Remember, you have a massive health advantage. It's a resource. You don't have to win at 100 health. It looks cool.
Actually, it would not have been totally unreasonable to put strategist in 3 there, overriding just to do 4 extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because then strategist becomes lethal this turn.
Yep.
But I think either way he's okay.
Yeah. I think he's going to have this one at this point as well.
Yeah.
He only has to do 14. I mean, he's got to block, essentially, the Lotus and lane 1. Strategist is going to do 8, assuming no buff. Yep. And that's a play he had to make. It's a play he didn't want to make, but I really feel like that was the play he had to make. Alright, can he finish him off with 11-13? He cannot. Oh, so close. Now here's a
What he can do is
where,
take out the gargoyle.
Yeah. I think you go... I don't think you play Nuada here. I think you go Lotus and Roar because you're so close to winning. I kind of feel like Nuada now suddenly becomes slow. What do you think?
I think yes, but I might just do Thundersoar and Roar.
Sure.
Thundersoar and 4.
Right.
And Roar.
That could work.
Then you're threatening lethal in 3 lanes after that.
Yeah, I think that's probably better. All right, he did get what he wanted to happen out of that Lotus. He had the 50-50 chance of pretty much winning the game outright. So I think that wins the game.
Yeah.
Yep. And there we go. EvilWeevil, the concession from the champ to put Vengevine 1 win away from victory. All right, I'm going to do the giveaway now. The giveaway goes to Stopper J90. Remember, if you do want to win a giveaway, you need to be a follower of the stream. So follow if you have not done so yet.
And just like to point out that my prediction now has a 100% chance of being better than yours.
If you say so. If we both lose, we both lose. It doesn't matter who was closer. We're losers. Have you never seen Talladega Nights? Come on, man. That my whole problem with card games is I live by the Talladega Nights philosophy. So, like, I could get second at an event with 100,000 people, and I'd be like, so I was first loser? Awesome. That's great. It's kind of a hard philosophy to live by.
Yeah, I could see that being a little rough on the ego.
Yeah. Like, I got 4th in the Forge Watch Invitational and was just in a terrible mood for weeks, and people are like, oh, congratulations on 4th place. And I'm like, you mean 4th loser? Yeah, I was really excited about that. Thanks, man. I think people thought I was a little bit insane. Or a lot insane.
All right, so he's going Nuada into the teeth of the Justicar.
Yeah, because he's going to kill it anyway. He's not worried.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's the thing. EvilWeevil only has the one Justicar. So,
yeah.
Even knowing it's out there and leveled, playing Nuada is still pretty reasonable.
It's almost better. You know you're not going to see it. You're getting to eat it. You're not going to see it again. Now you're fine. All right, he gets the Aegis Knight, Sentinel Blowout. And we're going to see... He gets no plants here. That's so cruel. He's like, I finally got a Nuada to stick around. I get no plants. Oh, it's pretty rough life there.
He doesn't have a ton of plants in this deck.
Yep, except for his whole hand.
He's
But
got
you're right.
those
He,
two.
he really does it.
So yeah, I mean, he has to know there will be some of those turns where Nuada doesn't get to
Okay,
activate.
Randalls, we can do it again. We can do our beloved Vault Blockade Aegis Knight play, or even Sentinel Aegis Knight to put more damage on this Thundersaur. Do you do it?
No, I play a Gargoyle.
Yeah, me too. Gotta start playing some Gargoyles. Gargoyles win games, just flat out.
Yep.
And I think I put the Gargoyle in 3.
Yeah. The second play is interesting, though.
Yep, not surprisingly, it goes with Sentinel. He really likes leveling them. Oh, he's not playing him in 3. I find that to be rather interesting. I guess his theory is Nuada could get buffed, and so he might need to move Gargoyle over to finish him off, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's smart. I think it's time for Super Crogius.
Oh, you think so? I mean, you could go Lotus, Warmonger mod, make one of these Lotus into a 7/7. I don't know. Do you Warmonger mod this Thundersaur and make him a giant?
I make Crogius into a 7/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can... This is really a now or later kind of play, because you're still filling the lanes. There's not a room for Crogius, but you could do it. Alright, so he's going... I think he's going the Warmonger mod. Or he's even going to battle and then just stick with Oros.
Oh no. Nuada dies here, right?
Yeah, so I think he's going to go Oros post-combat. I think it would have been interesting to Warmonger mod there. But interesting.
I think you end up just losing board position. You get a little bit of damage, but
I think so too.
I don't like it.
I mean, it's
not
I
a bad thing to have a level 2 Warmonger mod, but I much prefer to level it during player level 2.
I agree. I think I'd rather have a level 2 Krogia. I mean, a level 2 Oros that I see when I get to level 2. I think if I had a hand of level 2s and it was a Warmonger mod that was a 2 and an Oros a 1, I would be cursing at that point.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm always just rooting for the gutsy play, the Warmonger mod, early.
But if I could draw a Stygian Lotus 3 and a Crogius 3, I know which one I'd rather.
Stygian Lotus, right? For sure.
Definitely.
Definitely. So if you go Battletech here, you keep your Gargoyle in 4 alive, which is something. I'm not sure that's enough. You could go... I mean, I feel like you have to take the Thundersaur out. So the question is, do you just play, like, Gargoyle, Patriarch, take a whole pile of damage? You try to do something like Gargoyle Roar. You can move over, kill the Oros, maybe kill the Battletech. I don't know. He's got a lot of things he has to think about here. Yeah, he could even level that Botanimate on the Thundersaur so that now he has one leveled. Because remember, the level 3 Thundersaur won the game, and this would give him an out against it. So, I don't know. What would you play?
This is a really important turn.
I agree.
There are lots of ways that look reasonable. I think the game is... There's not much damage going on, so I'm playing mostly to level the cards I want for the future. Mm-hmm. So I think I find a way to get Gargoyle down.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The second play is a little tougher.
Yeah. Okay.
Danimate's reasonable. There are lots of good targets for that. It's got the Nuada and the Thundersaur. Both.
Yep.
Prime candidates to get Botanimated later.
Even say a level 3 Oros would be really nice to handle with a level 3 Botanimate.
Yeah, it hurts a little that he is first player, EvilWeevil, because if he redraws the Botanimate right now, there's not going to be a great target for it.
It is so cruel when that happens.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Alright, so he's trying to figure out. He wants to buff that Battletech so that it will kill the Gargoyle. But his lanes are all full because he's winning by too much. A frustrating spot to be in.
Not a bad problem to have.
So I think he's going to Battletech again in 3. Though this is a leveling spot. He could just say, I would rather level the Oros. Or,
yeah, I think I would play the Oros because you force EvilWeevil to deal with it, and when he does deal with it, that clears up your middle lane again for your level 2 Battletech.
Yep, that's true. The other side, though, by continually having these Battletechs down, he's continually threatening to trade off essentially everything EvilWeevil plays, unless, of course, he goes Gargoyle Sentinel or Sentinel Aegis Knight and just rips apart the whole board. Pretty cruel play, but I think that's probably what he's going to do. Where are you going to play the Sentinel? Play it maybe in 4 and then the Aegis Knight in 5?
No, I think I play Sentinel in 5. Aegis Knight in 4? No. No, I do it the way you first said.
Okay. Okay, he's going for this Randall's play. Dead Randall's changed his mind then.
Yeah, so okay, you save this way you put 2 more damage on the Aegis Knight and you save some. Yeah, I don't know if I like that way.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, I think I prefer the reverse.
Yep. They both work.
Because an Aegis Knight that's at 8/6 with 2 armor doesn't really lose to many level 1 cards.
Yep, exactly.
This guy does.
Okay, so he's got a choice here. I think Nuada is probably the right choice, but he has to overwrite. And if he overwrites in 3, suddenly he's not trading for that Gargoyle.
Yeah, and he's locking up that middle spot forever.
Yeah. I guess it's got to be 5, which is unfortunate.
It's 1 or 5. I don't like putting any more damage on the Nuada than I have to.
Yeah. The thing is, if you put it in 1, though, it lets the Gargoyle move over whenever the Gargoyle's in the mood.
That's
if
true.
It lives. So I think I like Gargoyle in probably 3 Roar. Lets you actually live with your Aegis Knight, live with your Gargoyle in 2. You have a pretty big board. You do have to take 12, well, not 12, you take 10 from the Patriarch, which is kind of rough. I mean, you're at 64.
Yeah, I think that's the clear play. He's setting it up so that next turn, if he draws a Sentinel, he can just move the Gargoyle over and take out Nuada.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it sets him up really nicely.
Yeah, that works as well, actually. It's essentially the same play, only a little bit better.
Isn't that what you suggested? Something close.
I think I suggested actually just leaving the Gargoyle in 2. But that's clearly better moving him over.
Yeah.
So we'll just say that's what I suggested.
Yeah, we'll pretend that was it.
Yeah. Jeez, that Tiny Grimes guy's a genius. Alright, yeah. That was good. Kind of tempting to put him in 4, but I think right now you can use your health as a resource and just take the damage, make a giant tree folk, and now you have the pressure.
That is a big, scary tree folk.
Yeah, can EvilWeevil find a way to keep that Gargoyle alive? And the answer, like always, is of course he can.
Yep.
He's got Sentinels, and they're beasts.
That works out really nicely.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, actually.
That math is just perfect.
Yep. Perfectly takes down Nuada. That's interesting. Okay. So then he gets to drop the other Sentinel. And not the other Sentinel, the Gargoyle. Gargoyles in front of Battletechs are so wonderful. Because they take such a small amount of damage from those Battletechs. And that Thundersaur. I mean, if you're Vengevine right now, you're like, you know what? I think that Thundersaur is going to win me the game. I think it's going to do it. I think it's going to.
For new players, anybody new that's watching, pay attention to where EvilWeevil is not blocking, because he does a very good job of taking taking as much damage as he needs to hold on to the board.
Yep. All right, so here we go. This is what EvilWeevil leveled the Botanimate for. It worked out beautifully for him. Like, absolutely perfectly. Yes, Botanimate that Thundersaur. And Vengevine is even checking out his Warmonger mod, right? He's like, all right, so I Warmonger mod the Thundersaur. Do I win? Ooh, I'm close. I'm close. And EvilWeevil's like, yeah, I got this Botanimate here. You're in big trouble, actually. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I suppose he's going to have to... The problem is it looks like he's going to have to throw away the rest of his board, which is pretty upsetting.
He gets to keep his Gargoyle in 5 and then move it to the middle.
Yep. But he does have to throw away the Gargoyle, move it to 2, Botanimate. He can... His choices, he could go Matrix Warden in 3, buffing his Gargoyle, or he could just stick something in front of that Eidolon to not take 12 next turn.
I think it's Matrix Warden. No, because you need to block the battle tech, or you take 14 from that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to be moving the Gargoyle over, so you would only take 7.
No, if you don't block, you take 7 right now, and then you take 7 more on.
Right now, the point is that you would move the Gargoyle over post-combat, so you would only take the 7 from the battle tech. But I think that's probably the right play.
Then your Gargoyle dies, so I don't think you...
Yep, I think that's the right play.
Yep.
Now you can move in front of the... The question is, do you move into that sapling and risk him going like...
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because now you take away your Sentinel blowout potential next turn.
Yep.
If he finds any kind of pump.
Yeah. And that was interesting.
I think that's the reverse of what he's been doing, because he's been just trying to hold the board, and there he tried to get kind of greedy with the free kill.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of surprised
I'd be
by
interested.
that.
I'm interested to just hear what the chat thinks about that.
Let's see. I'm thinking Gargoyle Sentinel. I mean, you can go Gargoyle in 5, Sentinel 1. You could, though, do Aegis Knight and just blow everything out, but...
I think you do.
It's tough, because Vengevine could play something like Jetpack, Warmonger mod, stuff like that, and have it... I mean, although he did just see... Nope, the player level just reset, so he doesn't know if he has one in his hand.
Yeah, no, I think that was the play. That's a really strong play.
Yep, that looks kind of like a game-winning play to me. But Vengevine does have a lot of health to play with, so he's got time to make something happen here.
Yeah, lane placement here is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
You can...
Do you go Nuwada and then Lotus to fill the other 2 lanes?
Lotus... Oh, man.
I don't know. The problem is, if he just plays Nuwada and nothing, like Nuwada and an Oros, it's not going to do that much for him. And the Oros just gets straight eaten by that Gargoyle because he's such a man.
That's painful. Yeah, I guess it's Nuwada and Lotus. Nothing else is very strong.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to put Nuwada. Actually, it doesn't really matter where you put Nuwada because you're not going to put it in 1. I was going to say I don't really want to put it in 2. I mean, I was thinking you could put it in 2, forgetting that Gargoyle can pretty much just go wherever he wants.
I think, let's see. Yeah. I don't think it matters too much. I think you don't put it in 1. But
yeah. Now he has the chance to maybe get a triple Lotus, which would be pretty strong. Give him some opportunities. Ooh, he didn't find it. That's too bad. That means he might not have any plans to hit with Nuwada next turn. All right, so the Soulforged universe at least rectified itself a little bit and said, all right, we gave you the 1 turn. We're not going to give you 2, EvilWeevil. Now you have to work for it.
So this is an interesting choice. Do you not take your 16 damage with the Gargoyle just to get the Lotus off the board? I think you kind of have to, actually.
I think you do. I think he's low enough now where he's still in stabilizing mode. Like, his 3.1 was really amazing, but it's just allowing him to stabilize rather than push.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to have a really tough time getting that Nuwada off the board.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't get to hit it this turn, then he's going to have to hit it 2 more times
He could make it really big, though. He could go Matrix Warden in 3, buff the Gargoyle, roar, move the Gargoyle over. Now the Gargoyle's at 21. He's in range of maybe killing it next turn.
Maybe, yeah.
And the only reason I suggest that is because EvilWeevil doesn't have any other cards in his hand to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of pulling all the plants off the board so that he can't do... Does Nuada make him 21-21?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fairly strong, actually. Alright. Yep, so he did that play. In addition to everything else, he's got a lot of pressure on the board. Alright. So we got the Oros. Pretty obvious play. He's going to play Eidolon. Little does he know. Oh, I didn't remember Eidolon was a plant himself.
Yep, that's good.
That's interesting. But little does he know that he's in some trouble. I think you have to go Gargoyle moves over into 5. Gargoyle comes down into 3. And then Sentinel. I mean, I guess you can do that post-combat and get the 3.
Yeah, you want to battle first just to get some
damage
on Oros.
Yeah, a little bit. The question is, where do you put the Sentinel? Are you putting it in 4? I think I am. So that I still have that option of moving Gargoyle over if I can get him buffed enough, but maybe not. Maybe you just stick him in there to do some damage in front of Nuada.
Let's see. He's doing 9 at a time. I don't know.
He's only going to get 2 swings in before he dies. I don't know.
At some point here, you might think about taking your damage. Like, I might hit with the Gargoyle right here.
You might what?
I might hit him with that Gargoyle in 4 and then move over in front of the Tree Folk.
Oh, wow.
Because that's really risky, though.
It is really risky because a roar makes it so Tree Folk lives. Then he gets brought back with the Nuada. I don't know. It's a dangerous proposition. EvilWeevil's in a tough spot. If he does push the damage, he can hit him for 37. I mean, that takes him all the way down to 30.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's the right play there. The problem is that loses the game probably. Because Thundersoar 1 followed by Warmonger mod might just win the game outright. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go in that route.
Does he have the pump?
Maybe that's better.
No, he doesn't.
So he has 30 coming back at him.
I think you just maybe overwrite with Vault Blockade. Oh no, you can't take. Well, yeah, maybe overwrite with Vault Blockade and play Sentinel. And
yeah, maybe.
Let your Gargoyle try to hit twice. I don't know.
I'm not sure what the play is here, to be honest.
Ooh.
Well, that worked. What
Oh yeah, you got him. Okay. What am I talking about?
He went Sentinel Aegis Knight. All right. Yep.
Yeah. No, that was great.
That was clearly better than what we were thinking.
Yeah. Totally missed that one.
And I mean, Vengevine basically had the game won, and then it was ripped away from him. And there's where you're really seeing how good those on-level Sentinels can be.
Yeah.
And now it looks like we're seeing pretty much the game, I think, is over at this point.
Yeah.
Unless Vengevine can have a really solid draw here. I mean, you got to admit, EvilWeevil made up for his bad draws last game with absurd draws this game. Still almost lost. That's the crazy part.
Well, his great draws came pretty late, so he was already
pretty
far behind. But These are amazing.
I like Gargoyle Roar, as crazy as that sounds. But maybe that's not the right play because your
I
opponent
think
has Lotus.
Sentinel has to come down.
That's true. Because you want your Gargoyle to live.
Yeah.
That was crazy talk on my part.
Crazy talk.
Absolutely crazy talk. All right, then you just stick the Gargoyle in 5 and kind of go, all right, play another Lotus. I dare you to fill the board again and run into the might of the Gargoyles. This is the real problem with Lotus. When you don't have Death Weaver with it, you're like, yes, I can fill the board with 8 7s and have them all die. Sweet.
Yeah, he's got to leave. Yeah, he can't protect him, so.
Yeah, I think now he dies because there's gonna be a
I
bunch.
think he has to play. I think he has to play BattleTech here. Into the middle. Yeah, that's the only way he lives another turn.
Yeah, and that was a smart move on his part to do the battle first, so that there are no empty lanes for him to exploit.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the Utera level 3 glowing card, and for a moment there, I thought it was Aurora 3. It is not Aurora 3, unfortunately. That would have been the ball game. Been a cool way to end it. And no Sentinel. So the board is actually going to clear out a fair amount. Those Lotuses are actually going to do something.
Mm-hmm. Not enough, though. Not enough.
I don't know. I think it kind of depends on the next hand. Because I'm not sure EvilWeevil can do that much here.
Well, I think you put your big Gargoyle, you pump that with the Matrix Warden to make it lethal.
Yep. And then he has to block all the lanes, essentially, or he loses.
Yeah. Which he can't do if they're not full.
Interesting. So he did that to keep the Sentinel alive. Okay. And then now he pumps the Gargoyle. I think I like your play better.
I think it's better to overwrite that overwrite the Sentinel with Matrix Warden.
Mm-hmm.
Because this way you give him a chance to fill all the lanes. But
right. Because if he's able to go Lotus Patriarch 3, he's actually doing pretty well. Let's see it.
Nope.
Actually, that kind of worked out okay.
Oh, I guess so.
No, it didn't work out at all. Didn't actually work out at all. I think he probably had to battle pre-combat. I mean, he had to battle and then play that. 9.
He needed to. Wait. Yeah, he needed to put Patriarch in 3 there.
Yeah, or he needed.
And he
to
needed
battle.
to have another Lotus pop in 5.
Yep. So, 2-2. We're even. Can EvilWeevil continue his reign of terror and dominance? Or will Vengevine dethrone him? Beat him into oblivion. Alright, we're going to do a new giveaway. Remember, you do have to be a follower if you want to win this giveaway. This one is going to be hashtag all in. Because we are all in on this one. It's for all the marbles. It should have been all the marbles. Oh, man. I can't believe I did that, Zrandles. All right. Who do you think is going to win this now? Now we've seen more. We have all our information. All the evidence is in. Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to stick with EvilWeevil 3-2.
I'm going to stick with EvilWeevil 3-1.
I like the confidence.
I think EvilWeevil is able to turn back the clock and win. Yeah, it's interesting. It's basically Gargoyle versus just growing that board wide enough to where Gargoyle can't have enough impact. Or just putting that Thunder Sword down at the right spot and growing him out of control. All right.
How do you feel about Eidolon in this matchup, playing it early?
I don't know what I think about him. I feel like a lot of his losses are from drawing Eidolon late game leveled, and then
yeah,
really
I don't
sad.
think he's gaining. I don't think he's gaining a huge advantage early with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not winning him the game in player level 2.
Yep.
So I think I like what he is apparently considering here with
I
Oros
think I do
and
too.
Strategist.
The one problem
that-
with the strategist play, if you put it in 2, is there's a chance it gets eaten, and putting it in 5 feels very iffy. But I think it's probably the right play.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I would put it in 5.
Yep, I would as well. Ooh, he's considering a Thunder, so we haven't seen this. I just assumed he would play Sentinel Gargoyle without even really thinking about it. Perhaps moving Gargoyle over to 2, a new Gargoyle into 3, and a Sentinel in 4. But he's really thinking about that Thundersaur.
Hmm.
Dun, 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 dun. What's he gonna do?
I mean, I think one of the gargoyles has to come down. The gargoyle has to come down.
Yeah, he has to come down. Question is, what else comes down? Is it the Thundersaur, or is it the Sentinel that he loves to have on-leveled? I mean, just think about it. Last game, if that one Sentinel hadn't been on-leveled, I don't think he blows out that Thundersaur, and I think he loses the game.
Yeah, the on-level Sentinels are really nice for protecting your gargoyles when they're stuck at 1 or 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. And comboing with that Aegis Knight.
Fair amount.
Okay, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
So he's going to let him eat it, knowing that his guy is going to be low enough where he'll be able to put pretty much anything in front of it to kill the Oros.
Yeah, and he's already seen 2 of his Sentinels, so not a great chance of getting the full blowout next turn.
Please don't play Lotus yet, sir. If I were him, unless I was going to Warmonger mod, which maybe he's doing. Oh, I guess he could Roar. Maybe that's his... Oh, that must be his plan. Well, that's a reasonable plan. I thought he was going to play Oros in 5. But Roar is reasonable. If it works, Roar is really reasonable. If it doesn't work, Roar is still not bad.
Yeah. I tend to play Oros in that spot, but I think he has more experience with this style of deck than I do, probably.
Yeah, I think he wants to put the pressure. And it did take away the Vault Blockade Roar play. I mean, it's still there, but it's not as powerful as it was a moment ago. Alright, so he does come right back with a pretty strong play. If he can find a Sentinel next turn, he'll be in business.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a tough one. I mean, he's got 2 Patriarchs, 2 Nuadas. Do you just drop 2 Nuadas? Do you go a Nuada and a Patriarch? What would you do here?
I definitely don't drop both Nuadas, because they'll just be stepping on each other's toes and not having enough targets.
Yeah.
I think the way he did it is fine.
I agree. I think that's the right play. Especially he doesn't have that many plants. I mean, it's unlikely he's going to be able to get 2 triggers every turn. Plus, if he's trying to push damage, Nuadas are not good at pushing damage.
Yeah.
He's in a weird spot where he didn't draw the Sentinel, so he's going to have to lose at least a Gargoyle. So does he do something like toss the Gargoyles and move on? Does he perhaps... He's got all these weird plays he could do. He could do like Nexus Tech in 3 and a Thundersaur in 5. Not sure I like that. He could do like...
I continue on the Gargoyle route, so I find a way to get that 3rd one down.
I think so too. I think I would move one of the Gargoyles to 3 to keep it alive. Maybe play a Gargoyle in 2 so it doesn't just die immediately. And then there you have some options. Maybe the best choice is Matrix Warden buffing itself to kill the Lotus. Maybe you can just ignore that Lotus. The problem is if you ignore it, you give him an opportunity to grow it.
Yeah, Matrix Warden's a pretty good card to level in this deck. I think I probably put the Gargoyle in front of... I run one Gargoyle into Nuada and then put the other one in 4. Because then you just have options next turn with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not have it in front of Patriarch.
Just
Then you
waiting
give him a
for-
chance to drop like Battletech Roar and take it out.
Yep.
So yeah, I like his play. I would do exactly this.
Yeah, I think that's the right play as well. So let's see, what can he come back with? I kind of like Thunder Swords in front of Vault Blockades. I feel like that makes your opponent essentially overwrite that Vault Blockade.
I don't know. If the timing is wrong, you end up losing your Thunder Sword for nothing. It can work out either way.
Yeah, and I guess it's true. You also set yourself up for the Aegis Knight blowout. So it's I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of a trap. It seems good, but maybe it's a trap. I don't know. I don't know where else you would play a Thunder Sword here, and I don't really.
I
like
think I
this
would.
hand.
Yeah. I think I like that, and then Strategist in the middle. You're kind of trapping his gargoyles unless he draws well.
Are you tempted, though, to play Basher and just blow that gargoyle out? Take away the option of him getting like a Sentinel too and doing some work.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable. If you do that, I just feel like you're falling farther and farther behind, though, in what you're leveling.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough choice as far as like a now or later. I think Strategist is the right play, or Thundersoar even, to get good cards leveled moving forward. Because we're still in player level 1. We still have to be thinking very carefully about what we want to see as this game progresses. And a leveled Basher is usually sad unless you're playing against a deck where it's something you want to take out. And
yeah,
I don't think EvilWeevil has many cards like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to take out a gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what's he gonna do? You have to play 2 gargoyle 2s, right? Can you really come up with a scenario in which you don't?
No.
I think I actually would consider going gargoyle 2 and 1 and 2.
Interesting. So he's gonna throw that gargoyle.
Or do you engage the Thundersoar? The problem is, if you engage the Thundersoar, you have to move out of the way or it kills you next turn because you're not on the defense, and so then you're in this weird spot of not being able to move over on defense. So I kind of like just gargoyle 1 and 2. See what he does.
I think I'm okay putting 1 in front of a Thundersoar because you'll turn it into a 9/3, and then you'll just move out of the way and kill it with something else.
This is the single funniest board I've ever seen in SoulForge. 4 terrifying 0 attack guys. Oh my goodness. This is just madness. Oh wow.
This is goofy.
I'm not even really sure what to do.
I think you avoid the Thundersoar 2s.
Yeah, I mean you could do something crazy like Jetpack a gargoyle 2, move it into lane 3, kill him, move the other gargoyle to lane 2, overwrite the gargoyle in lane 4 with a vault blockade. Like that to me seems like the crazy play. I don't know if that's the right play. That's the crazy play. It might just be better. Stick a Thundersoar in 5. But I don't know what you do with that gargoyle that's kind of pinned there. Like all your gargoyles are sort of stuck, growing guys. I think I like my play best, as crazy as it sounds.
Wait, run through that one more time.
Jetpack one of the gargoyles, move it to 3, move another gargoyle to 2, and then overwrite that gargoyle in 4 with either a Thundersoar or a Vault Blockade. Maybe Thundersoar is a better choice, but I'm not sure a Thundersoar 1 is good to stick against a Thundersoar 2.
Yeah. Well, it's not totally crazy.
I don't know. He's in a tough spot here.
Jetpack.
You know what he could do? He could go double Jetpack, swing over his gargoyles into 3 and 5, blowing them out. The problem is that gargoyle will grow that Thundersoar in 4 then, and I don't think he wants to do that.
Another one he could do is move the Gargoyle into 5 and then post-combat override it with the Blockade and Aegis Knight.
Yep. So he went with a slightly similar play to what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, chose not to engage the big Thundersoar.
The problem is, I think it might backfire. It seemed really reasonable until you see the perfect answer. Patriarch 2,
This is a
Roar 2.
monster turn.
Yeah, I mean this is probably, I mean it's certainly the defining turn of the game, and it could be the turn where, he just basically wins the game now. So I don't really know how EvilWeevil handles this.
I don't either.
I mean, you can do something like double roar. I just try to push through damage with gargoyles fast enough, but gargoyles are so bad at racing. It's like the one downside of gargoyle.
Roar is also scary because you give your Vault Blockade some attack and it starts pumping that Thundersoar.
Yep. But the Thundersoar is getting pumped anyway. No. Actually, yeah. I don't think you can roar. I don't know what to do here, to be perfectly honest. I don't see an out for him.
I think you probably do have to roar.
Yeah, I really don't like that, but
you can get your Gargoyle in position where it would trade with that Thundersoar. In theory, trade with one of the Thundersoars.
In theory, I think at this point he's just trying to sort of hold off for some sort of crazy Sentinel Aegis Knight blowout play.
Yeah, I think so.
And really, if Vengevine can find roars fast enough, there's no chance EvilWeevil will be able to win. So he didn't find one there. But he did bump that darn Thundersoar even more.
This is a pretty critical spot to get that Vault Blockade pumped up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, no, he doesn't have to. He can just blow that guy out.
Yep. I think Aegis Knight is going to be the play here. The question is, can he gain much from it? He can move that gargoyle over. It goes up 5 more because of the Sentinel plus Aegis Knight. It's only 22, though. He would live, but
this is really a tough spot.
The problem is playing guys is even hard because he doesn't want to play in front of those Thundersoars.
Yeah, but now he's taking 16 points every turn. Doesn't have many left.
Yeah, I don't know. He's in just a world of hurt right here.
I think it's just over.
Yep, I don't see a way out. I'm looking. I keep looking and keep hoping that I'll come up with something. I mean, I guess something is he could make crazy plays. Like, that's all he's got left, I feel like, is crazy plays. So, like, Matrix Warden overwrites Gargoyle, buffs other Gargoyle, and then Aegis Knight. Something like that.
Well, that would be crazy. I'll give you that.
Right, like, overwriting a Gargoyle 2 is insanity.
There's nothing. You can't engage the Thundersoars, and you have to kill...
All right,
you can't engage the big Thundersoars. You have to kill the other one.
Here's the play. It's terrible. The play is to go battle, to stick the Sentinel in 5, Aegis Knight in 2. That's the only play you have.
Yep.
It's bad.
That's it. That's the play.
It puts you at 25 health, with him hitting you for 12 more the next turn, which is 13, and then on his turn, any pump and you lose. So.
Yep.
But that's the only play you've got. You're dead, but that's your play. And then you pray. I don't even know what you're praying for is the problem. Like, you want to set it up so what you pray for an out. He's just praying for, like, the stream to crash.
He's got one Warmonger mod that could take out one Thundersoar.
Oh, man.
And then, let's see. He didn't level a Botanimate. Does he have a level 2 Vault Blockade to put in front of the big Thundersoar?
I don't know. I don't remember when he played the Vault Blockade.
All right, so I'm rooting for those if I'm on his side. Warmonger mod for the Gargoyle, Vault Blockade for the other
If
Thunderstorm.
I'm EvilWeevil, I'm rooting for the Apocalypse. All right, he's thinking though. He's really mulling over every option, rightfully so. I mean, this is clearly the most important play of the game because if he either wins or loses here. All right, he grabbed the Sentinel though. He might have a better play than what I had come up with. I don't see a better one, but I would love to see a better one.
So yeah, he's actually going to be dead on board with this Warmonger mod. I think it's exact.
Yeah, I didn't even look at Vengevine's hand. I'm just pretending like the world isn't ending.
Okay.
Growing his Thundersaur. Interesting. And then doing that. Okay. I mean, that's reasonable. Lets his Gargoyle live. Maybe that's a better play than what I had come up with. At least now he has 2 Gargoyles and puts himself in a spot where if his opponent can't do great things, he might be able to sneak it out. But let's see, that puts him at 24, 32. Does he not lose? I don't think he loses from a Warmonger mod. Unless I'm doing the math wrong, which I probably am, as I usually am.
He found a better play. I'll give him that.
Yep. He found a play that loses, but is better than my play. I think it loses. He does do 31 damage of his own. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, if he had found, what, like Jetpack and Sentinel 3, would that be enough?
problem is that 22-26 Thundersaur is kind of a problem. A little bit of an issue.
No, I think he did give himself some outs to win, though, which is better than we thought he would.
That's really what you got to do. All right. Vengevine is the winner. Let's bring him on. Let's see. Where's his music? Here we go. Oh, yeah. Very peaceful. Islandy. It's got to get more interesting. I'm just skipping ahead. No. Nope. All right. That's just what it is. Peaceful, island, chillin' champion music. Well, welcome back, Vengevine. Congratulations on the win, sir.
All right. When I drew double Thunderstorm level 2, I was like, oh, wow, I could actually win this game.
Yeah, when you had a whole board of Thundersaurs, I was like, I think he's going to win this game, actually. Like, that will totally do it.
I was worried, and then I drew that. I was like, all right, I have a chance. The mod, though, helped, too. If I didn't draw that mod, I don't think I could have won.
Yeah, that was an interesting run of games. Game 4, EvilWeevil was behind most of the game, then stormed out with all those gargoyles. Did you think you had that one locked up before he brought down the rain of gargoyles upon your head?
Yeah, I could. Game 4, I had could mod the Thundersaur or the Oros. And I mod the Oros because I killed the Gargoyle level 3 in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he would have to have like that out, and he did. So yeah, there's no way I could win after that if he had it.
Yeah, that was a tough one. It was an interesting game. All those games were pretty swingy because he's looking to flood the board with his stuff and blow you out. You're looking to flood the board. It seemed like you had all kinds of games where you were playing like level 2 and level 3 Lotuses and getting quite a bit of board presence, but not good board presence. It made me really miss the Deathweaver at times. Were there points where you were missing the Deathweaver as well?
So yeah, like I showed kind of throughout the games like how I can go through multiple paths with the deck where I have either like Thundersaurs, Oros, and like Battletechs and stuff, or I can just grow wide with Nuada and plants. So if I draw what I need for the matchup, I'll be good. But if I'm like, if I'm leveling like, if I have level 3 Lotus, that's probably not what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
against his deck. So, oh yeah, that,
Did you?
You can go on.
I was just going to ask if your thinking on the matchup changed throughout the games. Did he play it any differently than you thought he would, so you had to adjust, or did you have your game plan and stuck to it?
I changed depending what his cards were. Like some games he didn't have Gargoyle, which was unfortunate because like that card's really hard to deal with. So like I didn't need.
He actually had a couple games where he passed up Gargoyle a couple times when we were a little bit surprised.
Yeah, like if that happens, I want like kind of Nuada just to have big dudes. But yeah, if he doesn't do that, I can just go aggressive or like overload the board and not worry about like Gargoyle.
Yeah, so basically Gargoyle was the one card you were really fearing.
Yeah, in the queues I played, Gargoyle was the only card I was like getting wrecked by. The other reason I like playing this deck is I played Yetis like 5 times in the queue, and playing like this version, I have a much easier matchup compared to playing Tarsus.
Gotcha. All right, well, congratulations on the win, sir. Make sure you email me the legendary card you would like to receive as your prize for winning and claiming the Title 4 champion, and we will talk to you and see if we can bring you back next week to defend your title. So stay tuned next week for another edition of The Forge, where 2 will enter, 1 will emerge champion, and 1, much like EvilWeevil, will leave beaten, battered, and bruised.